Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We're still playing as France, trying to strengthen the Legitimists so that we can get a Bourbon monarch as king. So one thing we're going to do while we're working on all the other stuff we've been working on, we got plenty of cash. I think we can afford a little bit of war. There's a little bit of war in Africa. We'll do a little bit of war in Africa. So let me see. If we conquer Oran here... This is Oran, right? Yeah. We conquer Oran. That's going to give us 11.2 infamy. Oh, man. Look at all this. This is very different. We have a lot of people who could potentially intervene, but I'm not really concerned about many of them. I don't think Britain will get in on this. Let me see. What do relations with Europe look like? Things are good with Austria. Things could be better with Prussia. Improve relations with them. Austria, we're good. We could be better. Britain, things are bad. But we're not... Well, I'm not going to rival them back just yet. How are things with Russia? Things are neutral with Russia. I think I'm going to improve relations. Just get those going. Nothing particularly interesting going on with Spain. I'm not really concerned about Spain. Alright, this is a very reasonable war we can do. This is a force comparison that looks very good. I'm going to confirm. Mascara refuses. They're embargoing us. No one should be surprised by that. So, I'm just going to grab the second corps of the army. We got not a lot of artillery, good amount of cavalry, good amount of infantry. Mobilize that and just place them on the front. Oh, we got a tiny front over here. I don't love that. So we'll mobilize the Army of Africa and we'll put them on this front. I think it's fine if we suffer a little bit on that tiny front there. And law progressive voting. Wonderful. So we are mostly done with state religion. The enemy goes somewhere else, we'll go somewhere else. Finances are still pretty good, so I am feeling pretty confident overall. No one is leaning one way or the other. I see. Oh, interesting. These are good, useful comparisons. This is new with the current patch. What we're seeing here is preference for one side versus the other. And we can mouse over it to get a breakdown. So they're at negative 119 for us, negative 104 for Mascara. Austria, cooperative... Oh yeah, we got the attitudes here. So they got a cooperative attitude towards us. They're mostly preferring Mascara still, but, you know. Reluctance to support non-allied unrecognized power against a recognized power. That's going to help us a lot in the course of this. Alright, well, let's get that going. No one is intervened just yet. Enemy is on both of these fronts. We are trying to take Oran. If I added a war goal to also conquer Algiers, that would put me over my my 25 infamy, and I don't want that. Finances are getting a little worse, but that's really completely fine. We can definitely tolerate a little bit of debt. I'm going to increase this a little bit. Tunis is neutral. No one else appears to be getting involved here. Ooh, actually, before we do much, let's go ahead and look at our mobilization options for our armies. We're not providing extra supplies. What are... Actually, let me take a look at this, because I think we got large surpluses of sugar, tobacco, and liquor in our market. So let's look at cheap stuff. This is coffee. This is sugar. Yeah, we got a huge surplus of sugar. Tobacco? Tobacco's actually... We're buying a lot of tobacco from abroad, so we don't actually have a surplus of that. Sugar, not so much. And then coffee was... It was liquor. It was liquor I was looking at. And liquor... We actually do not have a surplus much at all. So for now, I'm just going to put sugar into the armies. And that will increase their maintenance cost by a little bit, but only by a little bit. Activating extra supplies could be significant, but that's going to provide a big groceries output, and I don't input, and I don't necessarily know if my market can tolerate that. Where are groceries on here? Groceries are usually fairly expensive in the early game. Yeah, market for groceries is pretty tight, so I'm not going to do that. That is going to increase the cost of this war, but not very significant. I probably should have mobilized one of these smaller armies rather than the larger one. Nobody is getting involved here. Very good. We are in the countdown to war, and that seems good. Newly formed Republican Party. And there's a revolution in Anatolia. There's an aristocratic revolt in the Ottoman Empire. So I need to decide if I want to involve myself in this situation. I should be getting an event to make that happen, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be. Okay, so the armed forces do want to join the resistance party. I am not going to let them. Jacques Lafitte. Can I sway you to legitimism? No. Because it doesn't work on that interest group. Alright, we're chilling on the swaying front for now. And I'm going to put us up at speed 4 here. We're just going to let this war kind of go on. I'm going to get in a little closer. Actually, no, I'm going to look at this event first. Discord within the Landowners. An influential faction within the Landowners has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of state religion. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor? Have you of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. This gives us 15% more enactment chance and weakens the Landowners. Now, the Landowners are in our governing coalition right now. Or the Catholic Church extended an open hand to these mavericks. This gets us 10% enactment success chance rather than 15%. But it increases the strength of the Catholic Church by 10% and reduces the strength of the Landowners by 15%. Now, this will make the Catholic Church stronger at the cost of the Landowners, which I do want. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. What that's going to do... Yes, I know there's nobody on this front, but I'm not worried about that front. Let's take a look at some battles here. There's us versus the Mascarans. Looks like we got a little bit of artillery here in this situation, and they don't. We seem basically matched in terms of... Okay, they're mostly using line infantry, dragoons, and irregular infantry. I don't think that's necessarily visually depicted here that much. But we are definitely winning this battle, so I'm very pleased about that. And then over here... do we have a battle going on? No, they bailed off to take that front. Well, that's alright. But we do have a small one here. That's already done. Where's the battle? Come on. Battle is down here. You're not gonna lie, I think we're winning this one pretty hard. Yeah, they're already retreating. Whoopee! Alright, and that gets us control of most of Algiers. The heirs of the Grand Armée. The good spirits of French soldiers in our current conflict bring rise to the memories of the triumphant armies of Napoleon I. The Bonapartist cause has enjoyed an increase in popularity along the front lines. Stirrings among the people and soldiery alike rumbled through the streets. From the dampest inn corners to the trodden fields, the memory of Napoleon's first decisive victories roused all. France's great regiments might again march through Paris at the order of a new Bonaparte. Patronize these soldiers with a good showing, increases the progress of the Bonapartists by 5, increases the strength of the armed forces by 15%, Or this bodes well for the Bonapartists' cause, increases the progress of the Bonapartists by 15. I'm going to go with this first one. I don't want to increase Bonapartism, so that's only going to increase it by a little bit. So this front has been closed out. We were able to get this territory before they were able to get French Constantine. So at this point, the only fronts are these ones. And we are largely winning them. And at this point, we've got Mascara fully occupied. So we'll go ahead and conquer Oran. Peace deal acceptance should sort itself out pretty soon. Yeah, they're losing 15 per week due to exhaustion. So we'll just go ahead and do that. One more week here. Ah. We now have state religion. Excellent. So this is going to make the Catholic Church even stronger, and it's going to give us some extra authority. So now we're going to go to legal guardianship in order to satisfy the landowners who demanded it. This is going to... it's going to make the industrialists a little salty. It's going to make the intelligentsia very salty, but I don't really have any much truck to have with the intelligentsia right now, so it is what it is. Go ahead and propose this peace deal. Little Mascara claims Oran indicator there, not super concerned about that. In the course of construction, we have built up enough government that we're now over our limit, and that is making our finances a little better. Let me see. So we're currently at 7.8 infamy. That infamy decayed really fast. I think we're at a point where we could immediately go after another one of these countries. If we grab Constantine, that would be 17.5, but Ait Abbas would only be 6.6. So, on the other hand, I think we'll wait a little bit and then grab Constantine all in one go, and then worry about Ait Abbas a little later. Commander commands Civic Coalition. General Bugeaud, he's our Orleanist, has made public statements in support of the Republican Union, bringing into question the political neutrality of the military. It is my duty to defend the nation and its interests. Politics is as much a part of war as battles and logistics are. I don't see the problem with doing my duty and doing what I can to make sure that those who are best fit to protect the nation end up being the ones in charge of it. Thomas Bugeaud can say what he wants. Extra momentum for the Republican Union. Reprimand him. Good soldiers don't give orders, they take them. Or, if Thomas Bugeaud likes politics so much he ought to get more involved, becomes the leader of the rural folk. Do I want an Orleanist in charge of the rural folk? They're currently headed up by a radical, but they'll be headed up by a radical for a long time. Bugeaud... Nope, not that guy. This guy is 52. So he might die, giving me a better position overall. So yeah, I'm going to do that. That means one of these armies... Oh no, he's still heading up the thing. Interesting. Victor de Broglie endorses Orleanist cause. Victor de Broglie has pledged the landowners in full to the Orleanist cause. While ambitious, his statements aroused controversy, both within the landowners and without. Victor de Broglie, my heart for Orleans. An auspicious day arrives for House Orleans. Prolific royalist and outspoken pundit for the landowners, Victor de Broglie voices support for the house's ascent to Charlemagne's throne. The people of Paris were quick to shout both support and slander for de Broglie's announcement this morning. Continued on page 2. He'd best preserve decorum, makes him more popular, increases progress of the Orleanists. What good is a reputation if it cannot be spent? Gives the Orleanists a bunch of progress, but it causes their progress to decay by 1 a month. So, I think if the Orleanists were further back, I might do this, but they're still gaining. So I'm gonna do this one. This is gonna give them 10 points, and I want to get the Legitimists stronger here. I don't know if we're gonna necessarily succeed at our Legitimist project. In fact, I might need to put all of this on hold to build up our... Do you want the admin? Oh, that's an Oran. No, that's not worth it. But I am going to put all of our industrial development on hold so that I can get these agricultural buildings so that I can continue to work on making the Legitimists stronger. As you can see here, we have a reasonably radical movement to preserve propertied women down here, which I'm not super pleased about, but it is what it is. Alright, the Resistance Party won a massive victory in the elections. So the government is now legitimate. That is actually hurting the monarchist cause, the legitimist cause. In fact, I might... Wow, the Bonapartists are going up really fast. I am not too happy about that. So how can I work on this? What's our golden number here? 360. Oh, okay. They're not as close as I thought. For some reason, I was lining this up with 100 in my head. So that other thing for the Orleanists might have been better. But that's okay. Slow them down as a whole. Alright, laws in drafting. 56%, so that's not shocking. So, what can I do? Well, other than finishing out this government admin and then working on these other buildings, I think we are still... Gosh, what I really need is a steel mill getting built. What I should really do is start exporting grain. But there's no foreign markets for grain. What about... So my buildings produce a lot of fruit. There should be a foreign market for fruit. No. There is, in Britain. And there are some countries who are close. So I can expand my farms. That will also help. So where do I have a good concentration of wheat farms? Do I have any other types of farms I can build? Build millet farms probably in Africa. Rice farms. Where do you want to get built? Guyana, India, French West Indies, Pondicherry. No, let's go with boring old-fashioned wheat farms. And where do we have a good concentration of farms here? Quite a few in Burgundy. Got plenty of labor available there. Let's do it. So we queue in 6 levels, and we'll put those ahead of the stuff we need for our construction industry, and altogether this should do what we need to do in terms of strengthening the Legitimists. Alright, reputation's gotten a lot better. We can now solidly gank Constantine without creating a problem for ourselves. So, get conquered. We'll do the same thing we did before, except we'll mobilize smaller armies. So the first question is, does it look like anyone's going to get involved? Answer's looking like no. Our relation improvement with various countries in Europe seems to have helped. We have got a little bit of influence left. Let's go ahead and improve relations with Spain, make sure that we don't end up having a problem with them. I don't think we're going to end up with a lot of enemies in Europe from the start, but we will eventually. Alright, rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Victor de Broglie, leader of the Landowners, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of legal guardianship. Making an appearance before the public in Paris' main square, Victor de Broglie's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across France, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, plus 15%, or performances like this reflect well on de Broglie and his cause. I don't want to necessarily give de Broglie popularity because he is an Orleanist. So we're going to do the first one, which for 15% enactment chance, as opposed to 10% enactment chance, but make the Landowners and de Broglie stronger. So that's very good there. Nobody appears to be getting involved in our war, which, again, makes me very pleased. Did we not just finish a government sector? I thought we did. We run out of labor in Auvergne-Limousin? That hardly seems likely. No, but they are immigrating. Interesting. How much longer we got these minority protests? Oh, this is probably due to frickin' probably due to oh, what do you call it? It's probably due to trade routes. Gosh, I know I have a bunch of amendments. You know what? We'll finish out the one in Oran before we get started with this other garbage. Because I do want to have a buffer there. I know this is not ideal. There's a lot of disorder here. We've got some... Actually, hold on. We've got some authority. Let's go ahead and knock some heads in. Get this building built a little faster. There we go. It's only minus 31.5 now. 2 arms. Let's see. Any battles started? Not yet. There we go. Oh, this guy going through the middle of the battlefield, like, you know, we're just going off this way. Don't mind us. Pay us no mind. Pay us no. Don't let me interrupt. Don't let me interrupt. I know you're having a very important battle over here. So let me just squeeze on right by you there. Let me just squeeze on right by you. Where's he going? Where are you going? Are you an enemy army going to the other front? I think they are. No, that's just a regular thing. All right, law progress to voting. We're good on legal guardianship. That is wonderful. Not for France's women, of course, but it is wonderful for the thing we are currently doing. All right, and that looks like another victory for France. Perfect. And that's the country occupied. So this war should be sorted out pretty soon. Then we'll have to take it back a bit, dial it back, relax, stop waging wars over here, because we're going to have quite a bit of infamy, and it's going to cost some infamy to get both of these areas. Obviously, we're in a truce with Mascara for another 4 years, and that'll be just fine. I'm not going to be concerning myself with much of that at all. There's another government admin completed at the end of this week, and that should, again, put us in the positive overall for bureaucratic capacity. Conquer Constantine. 79 more. Okay, so that's basically not going to happen until they fully surrender, which is fine, because that's the way it goes. So maybe having a little bit of increased bureaucratic capacity will let us form a few more trade routes. I say, even though I just said we're over because of trade routes. There's nitro unlocked. Beautiful. So, what do explosives look like in our market? We don't have many, but we could have a lot more. I'm going to immediately turn the iron mines over to using nitro. That's going to cost quite a few more explosives, but we can bring them in from overseas to cover the gap. Prussia is outputting a lot of explosives, which should not really surprise anyone. Love blowing stuff up, the Prussians. You always rely on Prussia to produce a lot of explosives, I say. And there's Constantine conquered. This will work out our conquest of Algeria. We need Oran and Algiers. This is Algiers, and this is part of Constantine's. And there's legal guardianship. So once these two are completed, we'll be able to get that thing knocked out and trigger a little event called the Proclamation of Algiers. So, we've achieved legal guardianship. So what else do we want to do using our government? We could go to religious schools. So radicalize the intelligentsia. Wouldn't necessarily be a problem. I might try to fight the government, though. We have been doing a lot of things that make the government big mad. Don't want to change over to appointed bureaucrats. I like interventionism, I like protectionism, I like per capita taxation. Interesting if we went to consumption-based. You're getting quite a bit of money from consumption taxes, but only about less than half of what we're getting from income and poll taxes. We need to double total outputs on consumption taxes in order to make that workable, and obviously I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. So I'm going to add an explosives factory to the queue. I don't know why I'm looking in rural for this. Oh, no, I can increase... What am I talking about? I can increase the output method. So what does that do to explosives in our market? That pretty much balances it, actually, and we don't need to import those explosives from Prussia after all. Although it's still reasonably profitable if we do. So we'll keep doing it. We don't need to import so much iron. Still importing iron from Tuscany, and that's just fine. That should improve the state of iron in our economy significantly, and in fact, it kind of has. Steel is still crazy expensive, but we got the private sector producing a steel mill here, so I'm not super worried about that. I think we can afford to increase construction sectors by a bit more because we got plenty of iron capacity. In fact, we could add maybe 3 levels, but let's do 2 just for now. We'll put those right in Ile-de-France. No, we'll put them in Auvergne-Limousin. We got a lot of labor available in Auvergne-Limousin. And we'll put them right through once we finish this week. We'll put them at the top. And after that, because these will build crazy fast, then we'll get started on our improvement plan for the agricultural sector. So, how is the Divided Monarchy going? Still not great. Can I generate myself some legitimist characters? Let's find out. You're a big legitimist. You're also reckless, which isn't great. You're an Orleanist, you're a Bonapartist. Alright, Nicolas Changarnier. You're a big cool guy now. Armée d'Afrique. See, we have a new, you're a Bonapartist. You're an Orleanist. You're an Orleanist. Alright. Can't do any more with that right now. And let's take a look at the groups here. We might... This guy's a reformer. Can we sway you? No, because intelligentsia ideologically incompatible. Only Catholic Church, petit bourgeois, rural folk, and landowners. Things are tough. Things are tough for the Legitimists. All we can do is increase the size of the agricultural sector. I really hope these count as agricultural buildings. I think they do. So right now, we're increasing at 2.5. And our line item is 1.54 from agriculture building levels. So we'll see once these start getting built whether or not those agriculture building levels are actually genuinely going up. You know? I'm tempted to just build more construction industries. I know that we have so much cash left over in the pot. Extra authority reduces enactment time, but that's not really that good. Let's go ahead and remove the suppression decree over here. Everything's going. Suppression's real bad here as well. Could incorporate these areas. We do not have an extra... We do now have extra bureaucracy. So let's see if now we can sell more wheat abroad. No, there's still no market. What about fruit? Nope. Nobody wants to buy our fruit. I'm very sad about that. What about our meat? Not much. It's all in red over here. That's a shame. And fertilizer, obviously, we're keeping for ourselves to help run our farms. We need it for our farms. And these ranches produce wool now, right? That's part of what they do. Fabric, yes. Set these over to increased wool gathering. That's going to make them more profitable. And set these over to using slaughterhouses. I know you think you're not going to be as profitable, but you're going to be more profitable. You got to use tools. Alright. Let's check our other mines and see if there's something more we can use. So coal's the big one that we tend to have in a choke point. Coal is a little bit more expensive than it could be. We have a shortage of about 60 coal. If we started using explosives for that, that would produce... That would cost a lot of explosives, actually, and produce more than the amount of coal we need. So we'll hold off on that. For lead and sulfur... Sulfur we're just fine and dandy on. And then lead... Where's lead? Lead's up here. Lead we're basically doing fine. So actually... We're kind of right where we want to be. Infamy is 16.3. That's well and good. We do want to take Tugurt eventually. So how much would it cost to annex them? 3.9. Is Tugurt split between two states, though? No, it isn't. Interesting. Ida Boss is obviously a bigger priority for us at the moment. Ongoing diplomatic actions are looking good. We are developing even better relations with Russia, which I'm pleased about. Ottoman Empire appears to have finished its war. And the landowners seem to have won. So much for the Tanzimat. That is a shame, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to give us a few weeks building fast and finishing out these buildings, and then we're going to see... Actually, while we're working on that... A scuffle of houses. Victor de Broglie, a devoted Orleanist, has carried out a series of verbal attacks and accusations of opportunism against the leading Bonapartist cause. I presume you understand your summons today, monsieur. These delays have gone on long enough. Of course, His Majesty's will be done, and with the utmost care and alacrity. But surely, given the history of our glorious nation, should it not be His Majesty's interest for his decrees to be accepted by all? We are not amused by your games, de Broglie. Urgent to be silent, lest he escalate things so far, decrease the progress of the Bonapartists. Or a fiery and entertaining display, decreases the progress of the Bonapartists by 25. Victor de Broglie becomes unscrupulous. I'm actually going to do this. This is going to give a big old penalty to the Bonapartists, and it's going to weaken Victor de Broglie, which should slow down the Orleanists. So let's wait for a week to tick over and see how that affects things. Very good. Very good. We're kind of neck and neck with the Bonapartists. And we'll continue to increase there. So, we're at 15.6 infamy right now. Let's go ahead and grab a boss. This is 6.7 now. So will that... It's not going to get us over... No, let's go ahead and do it. We only have one front with Ita Bas now that we've got all of Constantine in our hands. So I'm just going to mobilize one army corps to deal with it. Probably should have sent the army of Africa. Would have been smart. Oh well. Tuscany and the Papal States are rivaling each other. Tuscany's rivaling a bunch of people in Italy, so we'll see how that goes. You know, Switzerland and I should have good relations, I think. Let's improve them. And things are improving with Prussia, actually, significantly. Austria, we have a trade agreement. Do we not? We don't. Do you want a trade agreement? Why can't we? Oh, because I don't have the influence. Well, that does make sense. Sorry, Switzerland. No, I'll keep it. It's fine. Sardinia Piedmont supports Italian unification. King Alberto di Savoia signaled support for the unification of the Italian peninsula into a single nation. Alright, cool. So, I think Italian unification is not necessarily bad for us. Having a counterbalance against Austria's power in the region could be useful. On the other hand, their capacity for being a problem for us is moderate. So we need to be careful about that. No one has involved themselves, so at this time we are looking to conquer Ait Abbas pretty efficiently. And that should make everything even easier. So I think after that, we're going to go for Togourt. Because Mascara is still hostile, but we've got a truce with them for another 5 years. To war. Fidelity and perjury. Monarchists among the Catholic Church are refusing to swear a loyalty oath to the current government. While ideologically pure, this may undermine their efforts to build political capital in the nation. How can I swear an allegiance to some pretender regime? To do so would be a betrayal of the crown, and grant this twisted caricature of France a recognition of legitimacy that it does not deserve. No, I say. I shall never serve this bastard regime. Catholic Church show an admirable commitment to their ideals, 10 progress for the Legitimists, or realistic compromise will help the cause but upset hardliners. Progress for the Orleanists will decrease by 1 every month, but Catholic Church gets hardliner infighting for 5 years, which makes them weaker. And I don't want to make the Catholic Church weaker because they're very important for building legitimism. So, in terms of the tripartite struggle right here, I think we actually want to go with the first one, because slowing down the Orleanists is not actually as useful for us as it could be. We're catching up, and we will have opportunities to continue to catch up. Minus 15% political strength is a lot. On the other hand, that would actually allow us to catch up with them. No, because getting progress to the Legitimists is important against the Bonapartists as well. So we're going to go with this one. I know we don't look like we're in the best position, but we're doing it. We're doing the work. All right, we're still in a war down here. How is the building process? We're finishing out with the tobacco plantations now. So let's see if we can't sell some of this tobacco abroad. Not really. Shame. We're a little bit low on ability to produce cannons, which is not great for us. Quite a bit of iron from abroad. We can continue to do so. I think I'm going to build up a few more levels of construction sectors because we're getting plenty of iron from the greater world here, and I think continuing to get our construction in progress is important in terms of our overall strategy, because we actually need to do a lot of building rural buildings in order to increase our support for the legitimist cause. Perfect. Alright, so that gets all of Constantine under French control. Perfect. We'll go ahead a little longer. There's a movement for homesteading, which would make the rural folk a lot stronger and the landowners a lot weaker. That does not actually help us right now. No, that will create a real problem in government. Russia is annexing Ulijuz. That is not any of my business. The British East India Company is importing our luxury furniture. Excellent. You know, I never looked into selling our luxury goods abroad. As a country that has a lot of silk, we do have the ability to produce a lot. Should do that. Canning. Where are we technologically? We're still working on water tube boiler. That's also going to help our steel. So that's very good. With that having been said, I think at this point we are... Let's go one more week and let this building get finished out. And then we'll check where we are, and then we'll put the episode... we'll put the episode to bed. So we built a bunch of tobacco plantations. So how does this change? So we're at 2.6. And the increases from agriculture building levels. Alright, perfect. So we are impacting this by building up these farms. So that's very good. And we are now progressing faster than the Orleanists. We are going to continue to build these farms, and there will come a point when we will be able to get all of those ready to go. I'm actually going to cancel these barracks that were under construction prior to our conquest. And I'm going to cancel them because increased military buildings support the Bonapartists, and that's actually the thing that's like primarily a threat to our ability to consolidate legitimist rule right now. Because if we can quote unquote win and get to the end of this tracker before the Bonapartists, if they get to the end, they still hold progress or something like that. There's like a mechanic associated with it, or we need to then consolidate our rule. But there'll be more about that later. For now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.